Okay, so this is at this point Diddy's what 17th, 20th lawsuit from Tony Busby. I stopped taking count. This is the first that anybody's ever going to hear about this. It is a Busby special. If you want to know what a Busby special is, he has the same parties, the same forum. This actually will be in California. No, I'm sorry. This is the Supreme Court in the state of New York, county of New York. So this is in New York. Otherwise than that is the exact same businesses, forums, and whatnot. So that means Justin and Janice Combs' names are all up and through this. They go through Diddy's history of being sued. Diddy wants a gag order on the attorneys that bring up the fact that everybody and their mama, including the federal government. And last thing I'm going to say about the Kamora Lee stuff and the Quincy stuff and all the kids stuff. Like the fact that the federal government got involved and y'all really trying to make us believe that the federal government is on a witch hunt to take down a black billionaire, and not the fact that there is a very real chance that your father is, if these accusations are true, and Diddy has said he's innocent, is a real life PDF file that will sleep with Tom, Dick, Harry, little Tom, baby Harry, and on top of I'm waiting for them to talk about that there's going to be a dog involved. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's get into this. The parties are the same and whatnot. Let's just get straight into the factual allegations. This is through making of the band. All jokes aside, I believe this is the 15th or 16th lawsuit that Tony Busby not only filed, but he promised to file. Okay, so anyway, factual allegations. Making the Band was a reality television series that aired on various networks, including MTV from 2000 to 2009. Oh, what a time to be alive. The show, created by Lou Pearlman and later produced by Diddy, followed the formation of musical groups through a competitive audition process. Aspiring singers and performers competed for a spot in the new music group with the ultimate goal of signing a record deal and achieving fame. The show combined elements of traditional talent competitions with the drama of reality TV as participants lived together and faced eliminations based on their progress. Through the series, contestants underwent rigorous challenges, including vocal and dance training, live performances, and personal development tasks. Often under the scrutiny of industry professionals like Diddy. I love the way they said personal. This is the actual court documents, right? By the way, this is the facts section. I love the way they said personal development tasks. Is that what you called forcing them to go to juniors to get Beyonce some cheesecake? I still want to know, what was Beyonce doing there? Were they working on a song? I don't ever remember her and Diddy um having a song together, but none of my business anyway. But I would like Beyonce to be like, no, that's not me. Anyway, in or around, and I'm not saying that Beyonce was ever involved in Diddy or anything like that, but I would like to know what. We never knew you were in the hotel. What were you doing there? And they didn't say Destiny's Child. They said it was for Beyonce. Anyway, in and around 2008, plaintiff, then 17 years old, participated in a 3-day audition for Making the Band, having seen the opportunity online and through newspaper advertisements. During the audition process, which was filmed by MTV, Making of the Band, of course, was filmed. Oh my God, you guys, Maggie, hold on really quick. Maggie Battles, thank you so much for being a member for 10 months. Hugs and kisses to you. Oh my God, you guys, thank you. You guys say thank you to Maggie. She has gifted 10 Tattletales memberships. Thank you so much, Maggie. Also, Trishawn W., shout out to your backup. Thank you for being a member for so long. Said, what's up, Tisa? Good to see you on live again. I think my main YouTube account was blocked from Super Chat for some reason. So I went on ahead and made a backup so I could show support. It's all love. No Diddy. What's up, Trishawn? Thank you so much for showing love. All right, let's get back into this stuff. Okay. Thank y'all so much, you guys. During the audition process, in and around so he was 17 years old, participated in a 3-day audition for Making the Band, having seen the opportunity online and through newspaper advertisements. I find it very odd and sad, actually, that at the end of the day, Diddy used the camera and everything to get his victims. They said During the audition process, plaintiff advanced to a stage where contestants next individually in private rooms with Diddy. I'm sorry, met individually in private rooms with Diddy and his bodyguard. Who was his bodyguard from 2000 to 2009? Roger Bonds. Is that you? Now, I'm not saying Roger Bonds was involved in any crazy mess, but wasn't Roger Bonds Diddy's bodyguard from 2000 2009? Cassie put him in the lawsuit. Okay, let's get into this, right? On the first day of the auditions, during a one-on-one interview, Diddy asked plaintiff hypothetical questions about handling situations involving sexual pressure. Now, let me just say this, right? Because it's very, very, very important to say. Um, all this was filmed allegedly by MTV. They never knew when they were going to get reality TV gold. A lot of people that participated in making the band and even the participation, even the auditions, the people that didn't make it to the band level, all said that there were cameras from every angle in their face at all time. So the fact that they would meet privately, one, there were cameras there. People are saying that this was caught on camera. However, if Diddy tries to say it wasn't caught on camera, then it makes like MTV look really, really weird, because at the end of the day, you taped everything else. Why would you allow contestants from a 3-day trial to go and meet with Diddy in private rooms without the camera around? What did you think was actually happening? But let's keep going. Okay. So Combs, he's meeting one-on-one. There's cameras around with Diddy and his bodyguard in private rooms. Why would you take your bodyguard into a private room with contestants? You wouldn't think that they would hurt you. They're doing this. And this is before reality TV got crazy. So were you bringing your bodyguard in the room to intimidate them, to lock the door from the inside, to participate? Honestly, what's going on? So he's bringing them into private one-on-one rooms with just him and his bodyguard, and he's asking questions about what you do involving sexual pressure. As Diddy described these scenarios, he began to sexually assault plaintiff by touching plaintiff both over and under his clothing. Who should we call this person? Do we have any more names? We'll call him Hans, okay? He began touching Hans, who was auditioning, both under and over his clothing, including groping and fondling his wee-wee and instructing Hans to undress. While he groped Hans, Diddy engaged in sexually explicit behavior, including touching him. So, again, Tania, that's her name. The girl that was on Adam No Jumper and Soft White Underbelly. Really, really gorgeous girl. I think she used to date YG. She might still date him. Well, no, Sweetie's dating him. Let me not start any mess, right? But she said on the Soft White Underbelly, and she reiterated on Adam 22 that Diddy, so many people that have dealt with Diddy, from Jonathan Adi to Cassie to anyone that's reported, said that Diddy loves to diddle on himself, right? And that he does it at the most inappropriate times. I believe he does it as a power move. Again, everything that's going on seems to be right. Line up with Diddy's escapades, all right? While he groped Hans, Diddy engaged in sexually explicit behavior, including diddling himself. Throughout this encounter, now mind you, his bodyguard's right there in the room watching. Roger Bonds, you got 24 hours to answer. Was that you between 2000 and 2009? Throughout the encounter, Diddy emphasized his power to control Hans's future in the music industry, stating he had the ability to make or break Hans's career. And back then, he did have the ability. On the second day, Hans went through a longer interview process. During this interview, again, this is all on camera, Diddy again instructed Hans to undress, explaining that Hans needed to demonstrate the ability to embody a sex idol persona, which was purportedly required for the band's image. This encounter eventually escalated into Diddy forcing Hans to perform floppy toppy on him. And Diddy also did a I don't want to say a Meek Mill, but Diddy made Hans do a bunny hop. Oh, that sounds too light. Anyway, Diddy sodiumed him. Diddy continued to reiterate his power to control Hans's future in the music industry. On the third day, Diddy introduced his bodyguard, T. Okay, so it wasn't Roger Bonds. Okay, it was sorry, Roger Bonds. You don't gotta you got your hands full. You don't gotta react. On the third day, Diddy now his bodyguard was literally in the room the whole time. Diddy introduced his bodyguard T into the sexual advances. Diddy framed this as a test to Hans's willingness to do anything necessary to succeed in the music industry. T requested sloppy toppy from Hans. Yo, Diddy is so disgusting. He is a demon. And the fact that Kamora Lee, Quincy, and all these people are trying to run interference, yeah. I get it that you truly might believe that their dad's innocent, but Kamora knows that mofo. The kids see him as daddy. Kamora knows that mofo. Diddy's kids, even if you see them as innocent, why wouldn't you just quiet down? You're actively, and this shows the level of Diddy's power and control. He even exercises over his own children. Just like when Quincy was like, oh my God, I'm going to have my own reality show. You still had to put Diddy in it to make it about him because dad's going to be mad if we don't. It's weird. Anyway, right? Yuck. So the bodyguard T requested oral sloppy toppy from Hans, while Hans complied due to force. Diddy SA'd Hans again, simultaneously groping and fondling both Hans and his bodyguard. He literally had a freak off during making of the band auditions. How was Diddy doing all this mess? Did they just pause? They didn't hear the sounds. Here's my whole point. Where were all the people around Diddy? Where was the production crew? Where was the security? The fact that everybody knew this mess was going on and you still was doing it. Okay, let's get back into this. Hans's facial expressions during this ordeal showed his discomfort and hesitation, prompting Diddy to express dissatisfaction. Diddy stated that Hans's demeanor suggested an intention to report the incidents, and as a result, Diddy said he would be keeping an eye on Hans. So Hans is sitting there basically getting a train run on him by Diddy and his bodyguard T. His face is looking like he's not enjoying it. Diddy then said, yo, what's wrong with you? And then said that he's going to, I think you might say something, and said he's going to keep an eye on Hans. Ultimately, this led to Hans's elimination from the competition, as Diddy claimed that Hans was untrustworthy due to his reservations about performing sloppy toppy on his bodyguard. As a result of these assaults during the audition process and Hans's reactions to them, Hans was excluded from further opportunities in the competition and was unable to return to the music industry for 7 years. Now, let's point something else out. We're about to get into the second lawsuit, but let's just talk about this one. It hasn't been reported anywhere else. This is the first. They quietly filed it. We was on the internet being nosy and we saw what was going on. They said Hans couldn't enter the industry for 7 years after that. That was somewhere between 2000 and 2009. That means that Hans has entered the industry. And as late as 2017, 2009 plus 2016, that means that Hans actually is in the music industry. It means it might be someone that we know of. On top of that, Diddy essayed this person, graped them against their will, did industry gatekeeping, messed up his money, did all this stuff. And according to Hans, the bodyguard also did that. And Diddy was passing him around like a party favor. And this is all while the making of the band was filming. They kept going into private rooms. The bodyguard would come in. What did everybody on the scene actually think was going on. I'm sick of Diddy. I'm sick of these people playing stupid. I'm sick of his kids trying to rehab his image. I'm just sick of it. Anyway, where is it? Hilarious Homebody said, hi, T said, Diddy's plane was spotted in New Zealand. Why? I'll tell you why. Diddy probably got his plane on NetJets and they're renting it out. Yo, y'all want to hear some really good tea? Y'all want to hear some tea? Or should I save it? I'm going to save it for a separate video because every time I announce tea in my live, 20 minutes later, somebody do a video on it. Anyway, I got some tea on the jet and Diddy's actual properties. And Diddy's actually properties, but I'll put that in a different video. I'll post that tonight, I promise. But let's get through these lawsuits, and then we're going to talk about the Quincy Kimura stuff, and then we're going to talk about Russell Simmons and all this other stuff, all right? Thank you so much for the super chat, Hilarious Homebody. Okay, so this is like what? The 15th Tony Busby special. It has not been assigned. It is John Doe versus Sean Combs. It has not been assigned. Okay. Also, let's actually get into the details of the 10-year-old boy's allegations because everybody with the 10-year-old boy is saying that, oh my God, where were the parents? Let me tell you something. Honestly, where were the parents? But that's something for a different day. The son is old enough now to confront his parents. I don't know what happened with this. My goal is to get, instead of turning our attention to the parents, which 100% maybe, I don't know the situation, but instead of turning our attention to there, why don't we actually try to get this monster or this alleged monster off the street so we don't ever have to ask, where were the parents? Why don't we actually make the entertainment industry safe enough that we can actually send our kids to auditions with managers and not have to worry about Diddy pulling out his GMB and going to work? Again, this one is a little triggering. They're all triggering, but this one is especially disgusting. And it leads me to believe that, like, are we just going to find out that Diddy is a PDF file if any of this is proven true? And I don't mean like, oh, a 16, 17, 18. I mean like, no, when Tania said that she cleared it up on Adam No Jumper, where she said that she saw PDF, she saw little kids running around. Actually, let me actually play what she actually said, because a lot of people were saying that, oh no, when she said little people, she meant like, people that were growth challenged. I don't want to call them the M word because apparently that's very, very offensive to little people. But it's very, very offensive to little people, but a lot of people confuse the little people with what was being said. So where's the Adam No Jumper? I think this is it. Hold on. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Hold on really quick. Let me pull this up. Y'all know I'm always trying to get this going. Where's the Adam No Jumper video? Anyway, if I can't find the video, I'll tell y'all what she said. So anyway, she basically said, she actually clarified. She said, nah, when I said little people, I was talking about kids. She said they were super young. She said they had bobs on. And they were dressed up like little Nicki Minaj, Harajuku girls with bobs. Now, the funny thing about that is I found an old video of Faith Evans, I Remember the Way You Used to Love Me. And I found it odd that in that video, they also used kids dressed grown and dancing very, very grown. And it was always a weird, weird choice. But honestly, at this point, everything Diddy is doing is actually super, super, super weird to me. Okay, let's get in. Oh, wait, here it is. Hold on. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's do this. Hold on, here we go.
Okay, and that's probably the most explosive thing that you said in the Software Underbelly interview, because a bunch of people fucking doing drugs, who cares? but then you're like saying that there was basically underage people. Now, how underage are we talking? Like, obviously, like teenagers.
I'm not trying to have nobody come looking for me. Little.
I'm just trying to, yeah, because you said little, but you're kind of making it sound like you might be talking about midgets. But it's okay. It's hard to imagine all
And
these
I would have said
people
midgets then.
having this big freak off. It's hard to imagine that there's like kids involved and that nobody's going to say anything. That's crazy.
No,
that's hard for us to kind of.
He's too rich. You gotta understand. I looked at it like this. I didn't look at it like, oh, I need to tell somebody. I looked at it like, this is his house. So whatever he do, what can I say? That's like somebody coming to my house saying, I don't like what you got going on in your house.
Now, with all due respect to Tania, when I heard this stuff, I was like, no. If I see you got people in the basement, a la Jeffrey Dahmer and Silence of the Lambs, yeah, I can say a lot. It does strike me as odd that she didn't try to at least report it to the police or say something. I understand why she wouldn't have said it to Diddy, but come on now. But I wasn't there, so let's move on.
They may not like it, but they can't do nothing about it.
So was this the moment when you were like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here? Or were you already like
kind of confused because they were dressed up as the Harajuku Barbie. So I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's a production going on.
I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it sounds like some animation or something.
Yeah, some cute little dolls. Like animation. Nicki Minaj talk a lot about the Harajuku Barbies with the bobs and the colorful, look like Asian.
Would you have been interested in participating in this crazy public orgy if it wasn't for No, but it sounds like fun. Besides, until you mentioned that detail.
In the room, maybe.
But you wouldn't get up and let the prince bang you out on the couch at the.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And that's what let me know. Okay, this party ain't for me because if they cool with that, I gotta be cool with that too.
Yeah.
So did you tell me to go in the house to see what I think about it? And then they did. So when I seen that, then I heard people screaming, but I'm like, okay, they.
Because that's the kind of thing that if you were even at that party, if you saw that and you continued, even if you didn't actually engage with these teens.
You know something's wrong with Adam No Jumper is saying, yo, that's too far. She's basically saying that one of the reasons why she didn't participate in the freak off is because it couldn't have been all consenting adults and she didn't want to be around it. She thought it was disgusting. And she said, that's just not what I'm into. And Adam 22 was like, yeah, because if you're even around that, which is why I think a lot of people in Hollywood are being very quiet, are not saying anything about Diddy, is because if you are even around that, you are guilty of by association. Some things you just have to take a stand on. But let's let her finish.
You even being there really puts you in the box of like, oh, you're guilty by association.
Yeah. And guess what? That's why I got the fuck up out of there.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, once you see something, and even when I left, I got back, I'll get to that later, but I ended up calling the police, not on Diddy, on the prince. Like 911 called, I've been, and I have pictures of that. I've been kidnapped by some.
Okay, so Tania has proof she was at the party. I know what you're saying. How did you call the police on the fact that you may have gotten kidnapped, but you saw the youngins and you're like, I'm out of here. But also, I do think that what she said was very interesting, that she said she thinks that that might have been one of the reasons why you got invited from outside into the house, so you could see the crazy ish that was going on and you had to be down with it. So they were kind of streaming like, yo, you into this? Let's get it. Now we can yell, where were those kids' parents? They weren't there. They were babes along in the woods. My goal is not to sit here and crucify the parents, right? My goal is to get the monster off the street, because as much as Kimora and Quincy and Justin and Christian and all these people want Diddy to be what they want him to be, baby, the truth is saying something else. Also, Too Short 26 said Diddy is a sadistic sexual predator, never needs to get out. Wishing you well, Tisa. Oh, thank you so much. Too Short 23. Okay, let's get into the next lawsuit. This is the actual 10-year-old's lawsuit.